So hi everyone, looking a little crazy up in here. It's because after school, you know how it is. It's been crazy. I hope you guys don't mind the AC on, and I hope you hear me a little clearly. Now, I'm gonna mention right now that half of my ear is clogged, so I don't know how loud or low I'm going. Only one of my ears are unclogged, but it's just kind of very inconvenient. So if I'm too loud or too low, apologies. My hearing's just not with me today. I'm gonna get it checked out soon, so don't y'all worry. But by the way, we is reading Yandere/6 listener. Let's get straight into it. Chapter 43. Forced to switch plans. Once you finish eating, you glance at the clock on the wall and saw the time, noticing that at this rate, you'd be late for your university class. Perhaps your psychology lesson would calm you down after what had taken place last night and this morning. At any rate, it would give you an emotional outlet, something to soothe your stressed out thoughts, so to speak. So you placed your knife and fork back down on the table neatly, murmured a soft thank you to everybody, and then stood up, heading towards the hallway. You would have made it too, except... Wait! Norman sprung up from his seat and tightly gripped your arm with both hands, staring at you with anxious eyes. Where are you going? Well, I was just going to... You trailed off uncertainly. Surprise fluttering across your facial features as you try to comprehend his uncalled for clinginess. What was he just doing? Just going to what? Hannibal smoothly interjected, walking over to where the two of you were standing. I was just gonna get ready for my uni class, you responded with truthful intent, eyeing him with an innocent expression. You know, because I'm running late. No. Norman cried out wildly, tugging your arm with desperation. You can't leave. It's only for the afternoon. Hannibal, do something. And Norman tearfully sobbed, turning his attention to the smartly dressed male and trying his best to gain some support. Please. Norman. Hannibal decided to step in and intervene, placing his hand on the younger boy's shoulder lightly as he forced Norman away from you a little bit. Calm down. I agree with you on this one. Wait, what? You flashed the dark-haired male a confused look, not understanding why Hannibal would agree with Norman. What's so bad about going to my uni class? You need to recover from last night, my dear. You could tell that Hannibal had purposely used that as an excuse. A faint glare working its way into your gaze, will you try to come up with some sort of retaliation? Yeah! Norman immediately sided with Hannibal's argument, clasping your hand with the two of his instead. You need to rest and proper time to recover too. You're kidding me. You sighed in despair, slowly pulling your hand away as you grew irritated. Aren't you? Your face is somewhat paler than usual. The bags under your eyes have worsened slightly, and you've just been through a traumatic experience. Hannibal pointed out in a professional manner, acting more like a psychiatrist than a regular person. Before you could argue any further, Mikael joined in, gripping your opposite wrist and hauling you away from the hallway. Once he'd done that, he pinned both of your wrists against the dining room wall, preventing you from going anywhere. Because in his eyes, it was clear as day, you weren't. On the other hand, didn't even try to escape, too stunned by his sudden actions and how he acted altogether. Why didn't any of them want you to leave? It's not like you were running away and breaking your promise right off the bat. That would be a death sentence for your mother, no doubt about it. Maybe even yourself. Mikael, that is no way to treat a young woman, especially YN. Talk about disrespect. Hannibal scolded the stalker with a sigh, shaking his head at the silent killer's aggressive actions. Boy, I know you ain't talking. I know you ain't blabbering your mouth like you haven't done something worse. Boy, get out of here. The pale-faced male merely tilted his head, staring at you intently whilst he studied your beautiful whatever eyes and lovely whatever locks of hair. You were just so pretty. Let her go, Mikael. Norman demanded darkly, twitching a couple of times. Uh-oh, this wasn't looking too good. Mikael, I'd really appreciate if you just listen to them and stop holding me like this. You murmured under your breath, worried, quickly noticing Norman's breakdown. The masked killer relented to some degree, releasing your wrist and deciding to cradle your cheeks with the utmost of obsession instead. This caused a bright blush to heat up your face, despite you not wanting it to. This sort of possessive behavior just made you feel so... You didn't get a chance to sort out your conflicted thoughts, however, because Norman had flung himself at the stalker, swiping at him with a sharp pocket knife, and shrieked, snapping completely. Luckily, Mikael had dodged in time, clutching the blood-stained kitchen knife shortly afterwards. Stop being so selfish! Norman shouted at the mute killer, eyeing him with undiluted hate. As he faced Mikael without any type of fear or fright. Wine's mine, so just leave us alone, Mikael. Whoa. You stood in the middle of the two and held Norman's shoulders, trying to calm him down somehow. Let's take a breather, okay? There's no need for this. But Norman tried to argue with you in a high-pitched voice. He's trying to get between us, and he's jealous of us. He really isn't. You spoke in a soothing tone, wanting to diffuse the intensive situation. Both of you need to calm down. We should probably leave them to it. Hannibal calmly commented, wrapping an arm around your waist and standing quite close to your side. I don't know about you, but I'd rather not deal with their violent antics right now. After he'd replied, he flashed you a relatively sweet smile, obviously trying to keep you relaxed this morning. I'm sorry, but this? You paused for a moment, then broke away from the three of them, gesturing around to demonstrate how foolish they were all being. This is ridiculous. You're all grown-ups, for Pete's sakes. Oh, please don't fret me, mi tesoro. Hannibal used one hand to cup your cheek, cradling the side of it with the utmost of care, and watching the color of it turn pink. It's natural for us to fight like this from time to time. Jason will also join in if Freddy and the others should ever enter Camp Crystal Lake with negative intent. But you hesitated for a split second. Shouldn't we stop them? Don't worry your pretty little head, he soothingly replied, his thumb brushing over your skin and darkening your blush. It'll all be over in a second. One of them will eventually grow bored and quit it. Right. You mumbled awkwardly, stuttering slightly due to how intimate Hannibal was being all of a sudden. There was absolutely no need for the dark-haired male to stroke the side of your face like that. In any event, why don't we leave them to it and spend some time together? He steered your attention away from the fighting Mikael and Norman were commencing in, properly guiding you into the hallway this time. After all, fighting is what they both decided to engage in, wasn't it? I wish you'd just fucking die! You heard Norman's voice scream at Mikael furiously, his severe scream forcing you to shudder and nod in agreement. Sure, maybe we could, You bit your lip, not knowing what to do in such a stressful situation. Then it hit you. Then, flashback, Jason, necesito ir. He's like, oh no, and then mother and whatnot, so blah. Continuing. Well, if you and the others won't let me attend to my daily psychology class today, then would you mind if I visit Camp Crystal Lake instead? You asked in a calm attitude, hoping you would gain some solace from Jason. After all, he wasn't the one who blackmailed you into sharing a house with 4 others. I certainly don't mind, as long as you allow me to accompany you. Hannibal agreed willingly, deciding on a whim to let you go. Anyway, it's not like you could escape all 4 of them. 5 if you counted Kruger. Fine. You sighed in defeat. I guess you guys can tag along too. And that is how you, Hannibal, and actually Mikael and Norman, too, ended up making your way to Camp Crystal Lake. Chapter 44, Emotionally Exhausted. So what do you want to do once we get there? I mean, Norman shyly stammered, giving your hand a soft squeeze as the four of you walked down the abandoned trail leading up towards Camp Crystal Lake. Well, it is a pretty day, you commented casually, musing over his question, whilst you decided to interact with the three of them. I'll just do what I did last time, which was to take a stroll around the lake, talk to Jason, catch up, things like that, you know? Sounds like a pleasurable plan to me. Hannibal spoke in his usual pleasant tone, walking alongside you on your right side, whilst Norman clung to your hand like a child on the left. Even though you were still pretty pissed off at them, you couldn't help but enjoy their company to some degree at least. Because whether you liked it or not, Norman was behaving extremely adorable. Hannibal was acting charming as per usual, and Mikael, well, let's just say you always had a thing for the sweet but silent types. In fact, wait just a second. You shook your head, surprising all three killers as you stopped to clear your head. You weren't about to forgive them so easily, were you? After all, Mikael was the one who injured your mom so maliciously, and without a second thought, too. Why were you acting so calm around them? They were the reason she got hurt. There we go. Why? How come you stopped? Norman also stopped walking, staring at you with wide and innocent eyes instead. Everything's okay, right? I take it that there's a reason that you're no longer walking. Hannibal delicately brought up the sensitive subject, awaiting your response as he and Mikael stopped too. I'm sorry, Your voice died out, tears prickling the edge of your eyes while you started to feel mixed emotion. The psychiatrist smoothly repeated, noticing the tiny tears and sudden mood swing immediately after. I just don't understand how you all can act so carefree, especially after hurting my mom and me the way you three did. You wearily explained how you felt, tucking a strand of hair behind your ear as you attempted to calm yourself down. They wouldn't care anyway. They wouldn't understand. I don't know if I'm saying this right because I think this is actually French, but Angelo mio. Hannibal cradled both sides of your face with his hands and called you in another intimate nickname, in Italian, people. You have to understand, we don't think the same way as other human beings do. People like us, well, let's just say we take extremely drastic measures to secure the things we truly desire. But you all use emotional blackmail on... Before he could finish, his light lips pressed against yours with the utmost of care. The unexpected kiss stunning you into silence. Your eyes widened to the size of saucers. Your heartbeat quickened and your negative thoughts got pushed to the back of your brain. The surprising romance forcing you to remain shocked. Hannibal was kissing you. Weren't you supposed to be mad at him and the others? What in God's name were you doing? Why do you grow so nervous when I touch you? And then this is the flashback to when Freddie and her were talking. And then she's like, because you just mad at Norman. And then he was asking why, she just gets so nervous. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. And then Freddie's words echoed around your mind, his words beginning to make more and more sense whilst the sweet kiss continued. He was right. Why weren't you doing anything? What was happening here? Your cheeks grew pink when Hannibal's fingers stopped cradling the side of your face and ran through your hair carefully, treating you like some sort of dainty porcelain doll, whilst Norman and Mikael faded into the background. You had no idea what to say, what to do, or even what to think. Too flustered to return to your senses, should you stop this? Or let it continue? As you debated this, the other two males shared a jealous and resentful gaze. both of them ready to tear the two of you apart and attack Hannibal. But it turns out that they didn't need to, considering that they were far enough into Camp Crystal Lake territory to be considered trespassing and therefore run into Jason. A timid yelp of surprise slipped through your mouth as you became startled. A familiar set of arms curling around your waist while someone hauled you into a bear hug from behind. Who? Oh, Jason! The person who you purposefully come to visit. He nuzzled into the top of your head and made a happy sound, obviously overjoyed that you returned to see him. Hey there, Jason. You bashfully greeted, looking up at the hockey-masked face, and placed the palms of your hands over his arms. How have you been feeling today? Missed you. Jason replied lovingly, his eyes shining with adoration and affection. Knew you would. Knew I would what? You repeated in complete confusion, not understanding the child-minded man was coming from or what he meant by his response. Girl, I can't tell if we stupid or we just slow. Knew you would come back, he joyfully explained, Norman and Mikael growing even more jealous. Nice to see you again, Jason. Hannibal spoke in a polite fashion, his familiar facade flickering into play. I pray you've been well since the last time we've spoken. Jason cocked his head to the side. Well, you found it to be quite cute, and so you decided to make the question easier for him. Hannibal's just asking if you've been okay since the last time you and him have talked, that's all. You kindly explained, trying to make it easier for the kid like killer. Jason dipped his head obediently and allowed you to break for the warm hug, though he didn't seem too happy about it. I'm okay. Well, that's good. You forced a fake smile, facing him with a timid attitude. I'm happy to hear that. Oh, and Jason? The Camp Crystal Lake killer tilted his head at the tone of your voice, waiting for the rest of your words while he grew curious of what you had to say. Do you want to take a walk around the lake with me? You hesitantly offered, shooting him another friendly smile as a way to cheer him up a little. I think it would be much more fun if we walked together, you know, instead of just on my own. Would love to, Jason answered without a second thought, picking you up by your hips, this time and twirling you around happily. Let's go, let's go! Okay. A weak laugh escaped your lips before you turned and faced the other three, not wanting them to become over-possessive or anything. I'll be back in a bit, so just... You didn't even get a chance to finish, due to the fact that Mikael has shoved Jason away from you completely, incredibly possessive over you, and also had permission to barely touch your elegant form. This, of course, infuriated the hockey mask killer, causing him to roar in rage. Don't touch me, he snarled, raising his weapon up. Mikael's hand curled around your wrist, yanking you behind him, preparing for a fight to commence as he brought up his trustworthy kitchen knife. Hang on a second, Mikael, Jason, don't... You tried to cry out, but the two didn't listen. Jason starting the battle by lunging at the stalker and swinging the machete straight at his chest. Mikael... Oh my god, I hated this part. Oh my gosh. Don't tell me that's this part. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be emotionally damaged. And Mikael smoothly dodged, releasing your wrist in the process and slamming his knife into Jason's shoulder, making the Camp Crystal Lake killer shout from fury. He speedily recovered and retaliated by slashing at the masked male, ripping open his boiler suit. Ripping open his boiler suit and leaving one long tear across the chest part. Just stop! You cried out, both slashers spinning to front and face you. I thought we were going to take a walk around the lake, not fight over me. The two of them just shared a quick look, then Mikael begrudgingly nodded. Jason lowered his head as a way to apologize. Let's just get back to that walk around the lake now, okay? You ran a hand through your hair before sighing, feeling physically and emotionally exhausted. Was this your future? You didn't know. I would not want that to be my future girlfriend. I would not want that to be my future. I'd be like, listen, man, y'all listen. As soon as I see y'all cheating on me or anything, I'm gonna finally have an excuse to fucking leave. Like, right out of here. That's my ideas. My ideas are beautiful, aren't they? Anyways, Chapter 45, I'll date all of you. Oh, well, that's the title, sorry. Silence sprinkled down between you both like salt from a salt shaker as you and him walked around the lake. Jason being content with simply holding your hand, whereas you were just comfortable with the quiet atmosphere that Camp Crystal Lake had to offer. The lake was just as breathtakingly beautiful as it has always been. What with the way the sunlight peeked through the fluffy, colored clouds, walking around the glittering and glimmering lake the way you were really did have a calming effect on your stress levels. The lake, it really is pretty. You kindly complimented, giving his hand a light squeeze and shooting him a soft smile. I can see it. I can see the reason why you want to protect it so much. Thank you. Jason replied gratefully, whirling around to face you properly. Once you both stopped, he flung his arms around your waist and pulled you close, his firm upper body and warm embrace making you feel incredibly cherished. For what? You shyly wondered, a faint scarlet blush spreading across your face like wildfire, whilst you try to contain your slight traces of embarrassment. For being so nice. The Crystal Lake Killer explained joyously, nuzzling onto the top of your hair as he held you as close as he could possibly manage. No problem? You should be saying you're welcome. Your uncertainty made your response sound like a question. So you placed the palms of your hands against his chest to try to calm your out-of-control heartbeat and said, anytime. So nice, he chanted like a child would, deciding to twirl you around and around cutely. So nice. Okay, I get it. A tiny smile tugged at your lips once he spun you around a few times, the adorable action causing you to feel a little bit brighter than before. Thank you. Hey, YN? Jason's voice became a mumble, the mask growing sad all of a sudden. Yeah? You timidly asked, not understanding the mood swing as he gripped your arms and darkened your blush. What's the matter, Jason? Please don't leave, he desperately begged, staring into your eyes with intense sorrow. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave you? You slowly clarified, to be completely sure, and he nodded, his puppy dog eyes and distressed look forcing you to feel oddly guilty. I'm sorry, Jason. You apologize awkwardly. But I can't stay in Camp Crystal Lake with you. I just can't. Not fair. Not fair. And Jason shouted angrily, stomping his foot and growing even more hurt. Stay, please. Believe me, if I could, I would. You hurriedly lied, feeling worse when upset tears glistened out of his eyes. Oh no, please don't cry. You just like Hannibal and the others more. Jason accused hysterically, clenching his fist and turning away from you at this point. Whoa, wait a second. Surprise flickered across your face due to the wild accusation, not knowing what to do, what to say, or how to soothe him. That is not true at all. I don't like Hannibal and the others more than I like you. After he'd fallen into a sour silence, you continued, wanting nothing more but to calm him down. So all this jealousy isn't needed, okay? Okay. You purposely softened your tone at the end, standing next to him and placing your left hand on his right shoulder as you tried your best to pacify this immature outburst. Then why don't you stay? He frankly demanded, wanting to know your reasoning for rejecting him. I can do whatever you want, really. Your defense faltered a little, due to your guilt intensifying, but you couldn't break your promise to the other four. Otherwise, who knows what would happen to your mother? And I appreciate what you're offering, and I appreciate you offering to do anything just to make me happy. Really, I do, but the whole reason I can't say is because I made a deal with Hannibal and the others. You explained as delicately as possible, not wanting to upset the male more than you already had. Deal? Jason curiously echoed, tilting his head to the side whilst he turned to face you once more. In order to keep my mom safe, well, they... You trailed off, not knowing how to finish the explanation, and shifted from foot to foot, feeling tremendously anxious. Jason, noticing your unexpected unhappiness, hugged you yet again, realizing immediately that you'd given up most of your freedom just to protect your mother. His jealousy and resentful mindset melted away in an instant, his heart thumping unevenly with warmth when he saw how soft-hearted and selfless you really were. Because in his eyes, you were an absolute goddess, someone who was worth defending until the end of time itself. So, even if you couldn't stay in Camp Crystal Lake, which he wasn't happy about, he still loved you to complete pieces. Tell me. The overprotective male spoke worriedly, stroking the top of your hair as a way to cheer you up. What did they do to you? Before you could tell Jason the actual truth, someone else got there first, their voice sounding very familiar. We simply struck a deal with her, that's all. Turning your head to the right, you spotted Hannibal standing there. A sweetened smile stretched across his facial features while you stiffened up. Isn't that right? This is Italian, so hold on. Let me look this word up, and I'm gonna tell you how to say. I'm gonna try and say it. So the translation is my little flower, and mio florino. I don't know. They say it really fast, but it equals my little flower in Italian. Just to let y'all know. Well, you couldn't muster up a proper answer, not knowing whether to disagree with his argument or not. You forced her to. Jason furiously snarled, feeling outraged on your behalf as he pulled you behind him defensively. Such an ill-mannered way to word it. Hannibal sighed and shook his head, wrinkling his nose in distaste while he continued to smile. I prefer to use the term coarsered. Just a little push in the right direction, if you will. How dare you? Jason's hold on his weapon tightened as he swept the air threateningly, glaring at the psychiatrist with the utmost hate. You should have left her alone. You're the one who should have left her alone. Another voice chimed in, Norman deciding to join in with the unanticipated clash. Nuh-uh! Jason snapped back at him, seeing red while he swung the weapon at the younger male. She shouldn't be with people like you. I couldn't agree more. Hannibal sided with Norman smoothly. This place is shockingly suitable for a lovely young woman such as YN. Liar, liar. Jason was horribly hurt by his underlying insult, swinging his machete at all of them instead. Mommy said you were a liar. Mikael dodged every single swing and made his way over to you easily, wrapping his arm around your waist and keeping you close to his side, avoiding his malicious behavior. Perhaps we should call this visit to a close and come to visit you another time? Hannibal suggested innocently, watching the three engage in fighting without a care in the world. Nuh-uh! Excuse me. No. Jason hissed possessively, stomping his foot as you managed to break free of Mikael's hold. Wine isn't going anywhere. This is all really unnecessary. You didn't even get to finish your upset explanation due to the fact that Mikael, Norman, and Jason were all violently fighting. Oh god. This was never going to end. Freddy would most likely join in if he was here, so what could you do? Taking a deep breath, you eyed every slasher in front of you and swallowed, wanting nothing more than just to calm everyone down. Stop it! Stop it! I'll date all of you. I'll date you all. There. I did it. Girl, I would not. Oh my gosh. Can we just take a minute to appreciate how cute Jason is? Like, we just have to take a minute to appreciate how adorable and absolutely defensive that man is. I love Jason in this story. Like, he knows what is right in between is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And he knows what they're doing is wrong, and they shouldn't do that because, you know, wah. All right. So this is chapter 46. Freedom is required. Freedom. Stop it. Stop it. I'll date all of you. Your loud shriek was desperate yet clear, attempting to appease each and every killer that stood around you. Stop the silly fighting, please. Really? Jason grew excited about your decision and totally forgot about his current anger, his eyes shining with affection. You'll go out with me? But aren't we already dating? Norman tilted his head in cute confusion, his mental disorder still taking effect and controlling his thoughts. What are you talking about, silly? Are you quite certain about that? Hannibal casually inquired, ignoring Norman as he took multiple steps to stand directly in front of you. Even though your decision includes dating that vulgar dream demon as well? Well... His question made you stiffen up slightly. Your thoughts scattered whilst you attempted to give an actual answer. If dating the five of you brings this problematic predicament to an end, then yes. Yes, I will. A light tickle escaped his lips as he gently held the tip of your chin with his thumb and forefinger, moving his face until it was inches away from yours. And just when I thought you couldn't be any more pure, mi amor. The psychiatrist murmured with amusement, silently enjoying the sight of your cheeks turning pink at the same time. Right. You started just a tiny bit at his intimate gestures. Surprise, fluttering across your face due to Hannibal kissing you for the second time today. Just when Norman was about to snap and attack the intellectual psychiatrist for the kiss, Mikael got there first, the stalker smashing his curled up fist into the left side of Hannibal's face as a means to separate the two of you, still overflowing with that shameful jealousy, I see. Hannibal sighed with exasperation, recovering from the hit extremely fast. Not that I'm surprised, actually. Hannibal, are you okay? You panicked, both hands clasped to your chest while your eyes widened from the shock. I'm completely fine, Ryan. Therefore, there's no need to concern yourself over me. His soft voice definitely soothed you to a certain extent, but you were too annoyed by Mikael to properly calm down, facing him with immense irritation. What the hell? There is no need for that. You scolded him sharply, shaking your head as you attempted to smack the said slasher in the chest with a curled up fist of your own. You don't need to do that. I just imagine this in my head and it just looks really stupid, but it's funny. Unfortunately, his response was quicker than lightning. The killer grasping your wrist with the left hand, whilst his right hand's handed fingers ran through your hair obsessively. Hey! You awkwardly tried to argue, an embarrassed blush painting your skin as you grew flustered by Mikael's intimate actions. What are you doing? He's acting like a complete and utter jerk. Norman bursted out, throwing his arms around your waist and burying his head into your neck whilst he started to sob unsustainably. That's what he's doing. Truthfully, I think both of you are acting like animals. Hannibal insulted them sternly, folding his arms as he eyed the other three slashers with a strict and severe expression. What way you're treating our precious YN? Mikael started it. Norman placed the blame on the mute killer, almost immediately resentment filling his tone, whilst his hold on you tightened. No! Jason growled out. It was the both of you. Stop acting like a child. I am not! Norman retorted tearfully, clinging to you like a little kid as he continued to lash out at the silent male. You're the one who's acting like a child! Guys. You tried your best to get their attention, but like usual, Jason, Norman, and Mikael were too busy fighting with each other to notice you were what you wanted. Try to ignore their babyish behavior when it starts to become inconvenient. Hannibal sent you a wry smile and held his hand out, clearly wanting to distract you from the other three. In any event, why don't we head home now and leave them to their own childish devices instead? Breaking free of Mikael's grip, pulling away from Norma's grasp, you took a step back and took a deep breath, deciding to take control of the situation yourself. Stop this right now! You're adults! So start acting like it. You raising your voice until it rang loud and clear. You folded your arms and flicked your head to the side, being firm. You say you didn't think the other way humans being do. That is no excuse. You told them off with such unfriendliness as you could muster, trying to get them to understand, even if it was just a little bit. So I'd appreciate if you could all get a hold of yourselves. Besides, the only thing I wanted to do today was walk around Camp Crystal Lake with Jason. But boy, I've already decided to date you all. You cut him off and carried on coolly. So in return, I demand that you let me do things I want from time to time too. And if I really am to stay with you, the three of you. You paused for a split second to point out all of them except Jason. I request on nearly all of my freedom be handed back to me. I see. Hannibal mused thoughtfully. So, for you staying with us, without as much as hostility, of course, you desire most of your freedom back. Am I correct in that regard? But why? Norman cried out in with a combination of betrayal and bewilderment, taken aback by her words. Why is freedom so important to you? I don't understand. It's not just important to YN, Norman. Hannibal turned to the younger boy and placed a hand on his shoulder, secretly wanting nothing more but then to mentally drag him away from you. Freedom is valued by almost everyone. It's a condition in which people have the opportunity and right to speak, act, and pursue happiness with no limitations or restrictions. His intelligent explanation caused Norman's mentally ill mindset to falter slightly, tears of pain slipping down his pale cheeks. I thought you were already happy, YN. Norman whispered without crying, making guilt swirl around your stomach maliciously. So why do you feel the need to pursue it still? Oh, no. Please don't cry, Norman. I'll be back by the early evening, I swear. You took both of his hands in yours and gave them a comforting squeeze, unaware that you were being emotionally played as you promised him. You promise? Norman gazed into your eyes with a mixture of endearment and joy, and his mood totally changed. Do you really mean that, YN? Look. You faced all of them with an exhausted expression. All I want to do is spend a little more time with Jason and explore Camp Crystal Lake properly. I swear that I'm being perfectly honest here. I can respect that. Hannibal gave him first, flashing a polite and pleasant smile, before kissing the top of your head. I'm not saying all that, but beautiful. After brushing the top of your hand's skin with his thumb, he let go and began walking away, showing no signs of animosity or aggression whatsoever. Though to you, pleasantries he just shown didn't really feel very sincere. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and translate this real fast because I actually want to know what it means. I'll be back. Okay, it basically means goodbye now, my dear. I just found that out. Alright. Okay. Norman still looked disappointed, but respected your decision and took into account the promise you've just made. I guess I'll see you in a little bit then. But he stopped to glare at the hockey mask killer with random hate. I still don't like you. I don't care. Jason moved to your side and gave an uninterested shrug in Norman's direction, plainly bored by the dark-haired male. Just leave already. I'll see you in a little bit, you quickly interjected, waving your hand at both Norman and Mikael as a way to calm them down somehow. To your relief, the two slashers both walked towards the exit of the camp and soon left Camp Crystal Lake entirely. Thank goodness. Chapter 47, I Spy. You face Jason nervously, not knowing what to say or what to do. Should you ask what he felt like doing? Should you apologize? Yeah, you should apologize on behalf of how the other slashers acted. I'm sorry about all of that. Believe me when I say I didn't know they'd behave like that just because I wanted to spend more time here. Surprise fluttered across your face when Jason dropped his weapon, wrapped one arm around your waist, and hauled you into a hug, his other hand caressing the back of your head and stroking the strands of your hair lovingly. Your face switched to a deep shade of pink after what he'd done. Not knowing how to react or respond to such a cute and childlike behavior, your flustered state only increased when he nestled onto the top of your hair and cuddled you even closer, clearly not caring about the other slashers in the slightest. Sure, Jason hadn't emotionally blackmailed you like the others had, but could you accept how nice he was being? Couldn't care less about the others, Jason told you uncaringly, shrugging his shoulders and continued to hold you as tightly and as tenderly as he possibly could. Yeah, it couldn't hurt to use his kindness as comfort from time to time to heal your wounds. After all, it wasn't like you were taking advantage of him for anything. So what would you like to do now? We've already taken a walk around the lake, but if there's something else you'd like to do, I'd be more than happy to join. Your hands hesitantly grasped at his jacket, your heart rate accelerating due to the way you were being held by the masked male. We could. Jason seemed to have no ideas whatsoever, growing frustrated when he couldn't think of anything at all. Thinking fast, you decided to come up with something instead, to soothe him. Oh, I know, follow me. You broke out of the heartwarming hug before gently grabbing his wrist, pulling him towards one of the cabins and entering the said compartment. Why don't we play I Spy? I think it's fun. I Spy? Jason echoed curiously, evidently not having a clue of what said children's game actually was. It's a guessing game, where one person picks a close invisible object. Once they've done that, they say to the others, I spy with my little eye something beginning with, and then the name of the first letter of whatever thing they've chosen. The other person or people have to guess what the thing is. You explained as best as you could, your heart melting like butter when the killer's eyes lit up in excitement. Let's play! Jason chanted cutely, clapping his hands together like a young child. Let's play I Spy. Okay. You let out a light laugh and sat cross-legged on the sofa near the fireplace, gesturing for him to sit down too. Once he fixed up the chair and sat down next to you, you started the game first, wanting to show him how it actually works. I spy with my little eye something beginning with... You trailed off and glanced around the room, trying to choose an easy-to-guess object. Oh, with C. You decided to go with clock, considering it was a pretty obvious thing to guess /C. He firmly repeated, narrowing his eyes while he looked around with the competitive attitude. You can do it! You cheered him on and flashed a warm smile, wondering whether or not he'd get it. Candle? The slasher guessed as he slowly raised his finger and pointed at the candle on the table. I'm afraid not. You shook your head softly, enjoying the children's game and the time you're spending with him. His expression became a little annoyed, wanting desperately to beat the game and win. Letting his eyes flash around the room once again, he eventually spotted something else and pointed at the thing instead. Carpet? Nope. You stuck your tongue out mischievously, shot him a playful look to soothe his stubborn state, hoping he'd not take the game so seriously. A frustrated growl escaped his mouth as he clenched his fist and hit the sofa arm, glaring at the ground while he became very aggressive. Chair! Jason snapped and stomped his foot on the floor, looking very upset, which you felt strangely guilty. Aww. So, even though that wasn't correct, you cleared your throat and decided to change the thing. Yay, you got it! Good job, Jason. You're so smart. You lied with a bright smile, praying that your little white lie would cheer him up to some degree. The killer's eyes filled with joy, looking extremely happy as he thought he'd won the game. I got it! He clapped his hands like earlier and sprung to his feet, proud of his supposed victory. Good job. You said Jason did a good job. I sure did, you agreed, feeling bashful when he scooped you from the sofa and brought you in another one of his bear hugs. You're one smart cookie. A smart cookie. Jason repeated what you said again, spinning you around and around gleefully. Now, why don't you have a go? Jason, you gave him yet another friendly smile, Though, to be perfectly honest, it was starting to feel actually sincere. I promise it's fun, and it wouldn't be very fair if I got a turn and you didn't, you know? Okay. Jason tipped his head and broke the hug himself, looking around the living room thoughtfully. Well? You asked him after a minute or two, not knowing if he'd pick something or not. Have you thought of something yet? Yeah, it begins with W. W? You double-checked, and once he'd nodded, you allowed your eyes to wander around the room, wondering where it could be. Is it the wall? You pointed at the wooden wall, but he shook his head, amusement making his glaze glow. Damn, not the wall. Not many things in this room begin with a W, so this would prove to be rather difficult. Is it the wood in the fireplace? You tried again, confusion clouding your facial features when you received another shake of the head. That wire? You pointed at the long wire that connected the television to the plug on the wall, hoping that was the right answer. But you were wrong a third time, forcing you to sigh and give up minutes later. I don't know. I give up. You acted disappointed, though honestly you just had decided to let him know, to let him show you at that point. Even so, his excitement was just too cute to handle sometimes. What was it, Jason? Jason chuckled at your defeat, holding your hand with his left one and giving it an affectionate squeeze. Cutie, it was a window. It was a window. He lovingly spoke, pointing his right forefinger at something else entirely. It was a window. Oh! You responded in surprise, giving a little laugh of your own as you felt a tad embarrassed. I guess that was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Silly me. But that means you win! I win! Jason cheered contently, his irritated mindset from before becoming history as his mood switched to a happy-go-lucky one. 2 times in a row. It certainly is. You agreed, still hiding the fact that it was clock and not chair when you were the one picking the object. Proud of you. You're about to switch the subject and either carry on with the game or continue with the conversation, but when you look back at the window, worry washed through your veins. Why? Because it had been because it was early evening. Oh no, please don't cry, Norman. And basically she has a flashback to where she promised Norman that she would be back by evening, and she's like, oh. So, oh my goodness, y'all, this is getting a little spicy, honestly, in a certain ways or not. We're getting more details about these characters and how they truly feel sometimes. Honestly, I'd be pretty mad. I'd probably be acting entirely differently. Because I'd be like, remember like that last chapter, the couple chapters I read, that she's like, fine, I'll starve myself in the room. I would have done that for reals. I'd be like, okay, bitch, try me. I'll starve myself. Just watch me, bro. And bro, and then, yeah, I mean, I think that would have made it rather more realistic, I guess, because ain't nobody gonna go down to the kitchen filled with murderers and you know, eat breakfast nonchalantly, you know. I'm like, sounds a little bit too weird, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that does sound quite odd. And so, that's how it is. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the next chapters. Will Ryan eventually get into the phase that what Hannibal calls it, Stockholm Syndrome, which is basically falling in love with your stalker or someone that kidnapped you or something like that. Let me know in the comments down below. I think she will. It's going to get pretty interesting. I'm glad we're past the part that I really, really don't like. Where she's like, I love you, like, because it was such an awkward moment for me to read by myself, but now it's like extra awkward. But I read through it, you passed it, and blah 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 blah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. By the way, the polls will be closing very, very, very soon. So we'll see. I'll give it about like a week or two or a couple days. Just depends on how many votes there is. But yeah, I'll give y'all like a certain amount of time and I'll let y'all know. Don't y'all worry. and we'll have the decision making done pretty soon. Anyways, y'all girls gotta go. I'll see y'all in the next future video. Bye and peace.